house. Hello, you guys. Hey, Joe, you are the first one here. And
Joe is on the floor.
Pastor Norman coming in for second place. How you guys doing? How are you doing? Hey, Dee Dee and George. Sandra, I had you on my mind today, young lady. I hope you're doing okay. Jill, I'm glad to see you, sweetie. Thought about you and the girls, especially the girls over Father's Day, and hope they did okay with that. And there's Brother Kessler. Hey, Brother K. And let's see who else is in the house. Gerald is here. Hey, Gerald. I got to fix my camera. Oh, man. So I can see you guys. Oh, my gosh. There we go. Let's see. Are we in here? Let me know if you can hear and see us clearly. Gerald, I hope you're doing well. And there's John Greason. And here comes Miss Pat. Miss Pat. How are you, Miss Pat?
Miss Pat.
Hope you guys are doing well. Gerald said howdy. And let's see who else came in. Oh, you're welcome, Jill. I thought about the girls. I know this was their first Father's Day without their dad, so I thought about them. Yeah. And Apostle Norman, thinking about you, young man. Vincent Kelly from California. Oh my gosh. We've been missing you, young man. I know you've been peeping in, but Lord, we miss you and miss your comments.
Sister Christine, thank you for the gift.
Yes, that's Sister Chris. John said we're loud and clear. Thank you so much. Sister Chris. Thank you, darling. We love you. And there's Judy Jew. Hey, Judy Jew. Glad to see you on here with us tonight. Wow. I'm glad you guys are here. And it's been a busy day for us, but a good day. It's a good day. Let's see who else is coming. Somebody else. There's Nina. Hey, sweetheart.
Miss Nina.
Up in Virginia. Glad you guys have come in with us. And Nina, I was reading a book that you gave us years ago about, it was called Know Thyself. I think that's what it's called. And she put her autograph in the front of it and said to my loving pastors or something like that.
Oh,
she
yeah.
Said, yeah, she gave us that book a long time ago.
If you look like that picture today, what we got here, you're doing good. You look like you just starting all over again.
Mm-hmm. She sure does.
What's it? She's in.
She's in Virginia.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking about the place. Okay.
What are you thinking about, honey?
The place. I'm seeing a picture was a house, and
yeah.
I remember growing up there so many times. I think about it all the time, Miss Tina. I think about it. We miss those moments.
Yeah, we sure do.
We miss those times that we had on Fridays and Saturdays and the special classes there.
Mm-hmm. She said all is well, so I'm glad of that. I am so glad of that.
I've been really thinking about what you said about your dad and in a good way. I'm hoping that things will smooth out for him and your mom in those personal areas.
Now, is it warm in here to you?
No, it's fine.
Okay, it's good for you. Okay, so it's just me. Anyway, hello, Phyllis and Edward. I'm glad you're here. Okay, let's see. Where do I want to start tonight? I don't even know where I want to start.
Well,
I do want to start with this. That we all have been steeped in tribal mentality.
Okay.
And we live in tribes. And the tribes could be it could be religious tribe. And of course, within religion, there are still tribes, sub-tribes broken down inside of that. But it's also the economic tribe, the social class, your cultural tribe, your gender tribe. I mean, all of our life we've been consumed with tribal mentality. So we belong to tribes. And the hardest thing, I think, for someone who is beginning to ask what you call risky questions, they have the fear of breaking out and breaking away from their tribe. and being ostracized or being uh, um, blackballed, and especially in the areas of religion, because we we've been told over and over again that when you're in that tribe, that is the only way to God.
Yeah.
And when you start to see differently from your tribe, it can be a scary time, can't it?
Mm-hmm.
But it's also an exciting time because you have so many discoveries that you make that really show you your freedom.
But here's the discovery. I'm gonna start it like this.
Okay.
It's it is not complicated, but it is for me to say what need to be said, trying its best to describe the infinite and divine essence that we are.
The indescribable.
It's indescribable,
Yes.
profound definition of our true selves.
Yes.
There are no words to be spoken in the eternal essence that will come anywhere close to describing your elegance or our elegance, yes, or the elegance. Mm-hmm. When I looked at this thing from the full impact of coming here, we didn't come here. Now, some things you're going to find out about yourself that you may never be able to tell anybody because it is so revelatory, insightful, that to try to tell somebody that's sleep, when I say sleep, I'm not saying we are better or more than the other who may be or may not be awake. Yes. But I'm going to say this to you because I think that this is one subject that needs to be finally recognized and settled. And here it is. Everything that you have been through, if you count from 1 to 1 billion lifetimes in different suits, you, or may say I, be 2, maybe 4, maybe 10, maybe 1,000,000 or billion, or no any number to name. My point is this. I'm trying to gather up the strength inside me as I hesitate with this, because what I found out in this moment, everything that you and I have been through and is going through, reaching all the way beyond the Melchizedek order or beyond words into stillness. Mm-hmm. A toothpick, grocery store, ibuprofen, medical exams, the whole shaboom or kaboom. Shebang bot. Everything, even down to the shoes and the trimming of your toenails. Mm. Even down to the crusty heels. I remember, to speaking about this, I remember when I was living with my uncle and aunt, they run the Moonshine bootleg house. Some of the ladies would go in the front room and they'd be so intoxicated that they'd go to sleep. And some of the men would be sitting there the same way. So some of them would kick their shoes off. Mm-hmm. And I went in there, the television in the same room. So I went in the room and I saw their feet, the toes sticking up, and it looked pretty rough. So I got me a book of matches.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Oh my goodness.
I did that. And I stuck them paper matches them down and lit them. Gosh. You talking about a mess.
Oh my
I had a time. Well, anyway.
Oh my land.
Now listen. This is good. You got to come home to this. You got to come home to this seeing and knowing. You can gather all the books that you want to that may talk about the subject of parts of your life and the lives of others. Okay, here it is. You may talk about demons, devils, Satan, deliverance, cancer, infirmities, you name it, dying early, dying late, accidents. I don't care how radical it is or how bloody it is. And I'm shaking inside when I get ready to say this because this is it. This is it. The same power that God is the same power that we are, and the same power that God works with in himself is the same power that we work within ourselves. We created a non-creation of everything that we do and doing now. Now, I'm not just talking, most people say good and evil, darkness and light. It said in the book, he created darkness for certain particular thing and light for another.
But that they were alike.
They were alike. I have seen this a likeness of light and darkness.
Yes.
And I've had a chance to meet darkness and light. And both of them standing side by side accommodated the deep revelatory knowing that we created both of them. Everything. Yes. We did it. Ain't no separation in it. The same power that is used by Hitler, the same power that's used by David to kill Goliath, the same power that raised Jesus from the dead. Now, this is a big one.
Yeah, it is.
This is a big one because most of y'all want to say, or most of us want to say, God ain't like this. God ain't like that. God wouldn't do this. Shut up. Shut up. Hold it right there. When you come to the place, and I don't know as some of you may not or may be at the time ready to hear this. I'm taking a chance on saying this to you, and I know that some that got the book right there in front of them like we have, and you got the red letter edition. And you would say to me and to others that the red letters is what he said, and the black letters is not what he said. I'm telling you, whether it be black, white, blue, or green, polka dot green with stripes, all of it was done by us for what purpose? Okay, here we go. Each time we went through a cycle of choosing the suit for the juice or the cup for the juice to be poured in, we took on the shape of the container that we went into. We designed the container, we designed this juice.
We knew exactly what we were getting into.
None of us, not any of us came here blind and asleep. We even created the sleep so that we could come here in the sleep and wake up from the sleep in the sleep.
Yes. Good question. I mean, good. You made me think of a question.
Okay.
We often talk about waking up, but what is it actually that we are waking up from? And then what are we awakening to?
Oh, God, that's a good one.
What? Okay, give me your spiel. And this isn't a right or wrong question. I mean, answer. This isn't a test, but what do you know you woke up from?
Okay.
And what have you awakened to? And if you can type it in for me. While they're doing that, I wanted to mention that I just learned that in the Sanskrit, means alpha, and ha means omega. And in Revelation, the chapter 1 of Revelation, verse 8, he said, I am Alpha and Omega. So that means that the Christ is aha. And you can find aha in every tribe. There's an aha in every system of our society.
What about mm-hmm?
That too. There is an aha. We have the grace of having an aha moment in whatever we have allegiance to. There is nothing that can stop that aha moment.
Everybody you met today, everybody that met you today, and being the aha, you and them set it up
Mhm, mhm.
to look, to say, to look, to feel, to sit down, to
Yes.
stand, to wait in bank, to cash a check, to collect. You did every bit of
Did
it.
all of it. Did all of it. So what did we wake up from?
Wow. Mm.
And what when we awoke? What were we after we awoke? I mean, these are questions that make you just, the mind can't answer that. And you really have to dig deep and contemplate when to answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
What did you awaken from?
Is it possible that we woke ourselves up and put ourselves to sleep to find out who we were asleep and who we were awake, who we were not asleep and who we were not awake?
Yeah, and sleep simply means someone who is unable to see at the moment.
And we created
At the
that.
moment, yes. Judy Juice chiming in. Thank you, Judy.
Okay.
She says, awakening from the dream of separation, believing that we were separate from God and each other. Yes, ma'am. Yes. And when that happens, when you awake from the dream of separation, at that point, Judy, I started having insights, revelatory insights coming to me about what separation actually is, the depth of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize how deep it ran.
Mm-hmm.
When we say separation, we think of body separation. We think of, when you mentioned
divorce, separation.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
opposites
Mm-hmm.
other than, but separation,
Left side, right side. Mm-hmm.
Separation goes so much deeper than that. In separation, it's my belief in being an individual, and that has to dissipate.
Now, I'm coming to a place where I sense a ebbing and tiding of a place, a mellow middle place I'm dealing with that I created by deliberate or default. I created this hearing situation. Right now, as I speak to you, my left ear is singing, ringing, hollering, and screaming, jumping up and down and buzzing.
It's called tinnitus.
Tinnitus is sensitive nerve, and sensitive to high pitched sounds, and it's absolutely gross. And at the same time, I'm talking to you because I have to use what is called the bypass system that was developed billions of years ago inside of us to know how to put ourselves into the bypass presence of ignoring it, but at the same time knowing it and accepting it. At this moment that I speak to you, it is very, if I want to, I jump on, it's very annoying. I never expected my hearing to be like this. I never expected any of this to happen. But then this stuff put me in a place where I had to find out more about my divine self and what I decided to do at this moment.
And not only do you have the tinnitus, your left ear doesn't hear.
No.
It's not hearing.
I put my ear like this on the right.
And you can't hear.
I can barely hear you. I can hear a bumping of your voice. And I have to deal with it.
So you've had to learn to, like you said, bypass that.
I don't like it. But I created the don't like itness. And there's something in this that I am seeing and coming into awareness of. One of the things that has really been coming to me, that when one gate becomes defective or no longer used, other gates open.
Yes. And become amplified.
Amplified and strengthened. So it's like I see with my mouth, I hear with my eyes, and I know with my intuition. It pushes it up into an area where transference of the whole gates of the city of my Jerusalem identity. The whole road that I walked on the Emmaus 2,000 years ago has now been paved with gravel and cement and asphalt. The waters that I rode on 2,000 years ago, now I am no longer in a wooden boat, but I am in a total big submarine and ship. My whole demeanor is changed in that area, but I designed it to change so that I could, as you and I, essence, move into full awareness of God to a zero state of not allowing anything to exist, not even ourselves, in a small S experience. But in a big S,
yes,
I take every bit of it.
Yes.
In the big S, I choose to see God in every, and I choose to, listen to this, choose to not see God with me anymore. I choose not to see God in me anymore. I choose not to see God somewhere else at another time, another place. I choose. And then when I come to the end of this thing, even the choices are removed.
Even the I that's choosing.
It removes.
It's removed.
I want you to hear this. Grab your heart and squeeze it tight, because I'm getting ready to show you where the Almighty God is your power and might.
Yes, sir.
Might that will never come to an end, but a place in you where all do win.
Yes.
And in the winning part of your heart, you will walk this chart and never stumble, never flicker of bitch, flicker a bitch. Well, yeah, anyway.
Well, that too.
And you will be able to crawl on the ground as a militant soldier and see the ground talk to you. And your feet will sing songs from the maps that was created in your feet. And your ears will begin to remove themselves to where you start hearing with your knees and hearing with your elbows. You will be totally transformed. I always say that we all what I call it.
You said this, pardon my French, recovering bitches.
You all recovering bitches. That's right. We all recovering. But anyway.
Yeah. That's not very religious or Christian like, but yes, that's exactly true what we are.
Have you ever turned a radio on or television on, and we've done it many times playing guitar, and the speaker's up too loud, and when they turn on, they blast, and when you turn them off, you done blow the speaker.
And they have the static in it when you turn them back
that's
on.
Where I'm sounding now inside myself. There's a lot of static. There's static in this hearing thing, and I have to constantly deal with the balance. I did that. I had to constantly deal with hearing you. I went up to a drive-through, and the lady was telling me something. I could hear what she said. I could see it and feel the vibration. I couldn't hear it. And so I had to turn my ear to the side.
And the simplest things, like going through the drive-through, is just a challenge.
Yeah. Now, long time ago, we would say, Satan, I bind you. I don't bind anything. Let me let you know something. Let me tell you this. The power that we use to pray, to bind and to loose, is removed. The 9 gifts of the Spirit that we talked about years ago in 1 Corinthians 12 are removed. The fruits of the Spirit is removed. the accepting Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior, that's removed. That's right. I'm going all the way with the same. The order of the institutional church is removed. The brick and mortar is removed.
Spiritual groups
are removed.
Yeah.
Praying in the spirit and praying for and against is removed. All curses are removed. All doubts are removed. The list is unending, removed. I'm saying this to bring a point.
Yes.
And the reason why it is removed, because once God, as you, without the ego, wake up, and then till you're going to find out that the ego was created by us to not exist, to be removed. I'm bringing you down to the middle. I'm bringing you to the forefront of nothing else existing but what it was said, what Jesus said, we said in the book and any other book. I go into the Father and you see me no more.
So you do realize, and I know you do, because we've talked about this.
Yeah.
There are very few people who are ready to disappear.
Thank you.
Very few people. Most of us are aspiring simply to reach the state of bliss and peace. And we think that's it. We think that's the finality. When my mind doesn't bug me anymore. We think that's the finality.
We set that up.
But the actual finality is the end of a me and I and us. It is the end of that, and there can only be left what is true, which is God.
I may not hear the outer words, vibrational sounds that are spoken to me through somebody's mouth, but I do hear. Let me tell you what I picked up here, and I looked down the book, in 20th verse of 5th chapter of John. This is what Jesus said, and just to describe to you in this way what I'm trying to say. For the Father loveth the Son, and show him all things that himself doeth. He will show him greater works than these, that ye may marvel. For as the Father raiseth up the dead and quickeneth them, even so the Son quickeneth whom he will. For the Father judgeth no man, but hath committed all things, all judgment unto the Son. Therefore the Jews sought more to kill him, because not only had he broken the Sabbath day, but said also that God was his Father, making himself equal with God. Yes. Now, once you find out that you're equal, you will not voice it by telling people in your classes, in your home, the devil can't do nothing to me because I'm one with God. No, arrogance is removed. The fighting that we've been doing in the brick and mortar is removed. Only when you see this inseparable separation.
I like that.
Inseparable separation. When you see this, death becomes your friend. It makes no difference to whether one dies or stay, lose or gain. All this stuff that you've been seeing in the church that they've been telling you about the kingdom of God comes in that wealth and prosperity. That will not make any difference to you, because once you go into rest, everything, now listen to this, everything that they are fighting to get and have obtained in the monetary area on YouTube, they're fighting against certain pastors and preachers that have made millions and still making billions off of airplanes and traveling. That disappears into your seeing the truth of your true identity. Once you see this, everything will come back, but it comes back in a different way.
To a non-person.
That's right.
To a non-person.
You'll find out that
it all comes back to God.
That's right.
It all comes back to
God. And I used to think that the way I'm talking now, we used to think that if I talk like this, I done left God, I done backslid sideways.
And everybody listening to you is going to stop.
It's going to stop, and I ain't going to have no friends, and they're going to blackball me and put me on the air
But you realize, if and then some may leave
Yeah.
because of that, because Jesus made statements, and when he made those statements, sometimes they left him because of it. But I want to read a scripture to you. It's in Matthew 13 and 11. And some of you who are scholars, Bible scholars,
Miss
know
Judy,
this.
Miss Judy, I hear you, girl. I hear you talking to me.
It says in the very first, second, and third verses, the same day went Jesus out of the house and sat by the seaside, and great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore, and he spoke many things unto them in parables. And then in the 10th verse, his disciples came to him and they said, why do you speak to them in parables?
Mm-hmm.
He answered and said to them, to his disciples, because it's given unto you to know the mysteries, but to them it is not given.
Mm-hmm.
If you're able to hear this that you are saying now, it is given unto you to know the mysteries.
Here's a good one. And he said, wilt thou be made whole?
Yes.
That's what we're seeing, Miss Judy.
Can I show some of the comments?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sister Chris brought up the pipe bypass system that you were talking about.
Yes.
And then Judy says, there is no God and me.
I hear you.
That's right. There is no God
I see you.
me. There is only God, inseparable, all pervasive, only God, and we are that. And as we recognize the truth of our being as that.
You created every tool in the speed bumps, the crisis. We created everything that's going on in Russia, Germany, and the United States,
yes,
and the Ukraine.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I am not asking you to agree or disagree, because in this area that we speak of, there's no such thing.
And you don't need validation.
And I don't need validation. If you decide that you don't like me, we created that too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This thing is so radical.
It is. It is.
That tonight what we're saying to you may not be said the way we're saying it again. So I would advise you to pin yourself down to listen to this with your pure heart and not your monkey mind or your religious spiritual brain that tell you that if it doesn't make sense, if it doesn't make sense, it's not real. You created that too. That was a man.
But that's all a ploy of the ego.
Yeah.
To keep you from seeing the truth.
There was a man that taught classes and his students all about what we're talking about now and never opened his mouth.
Yes. That was his way of transmitting.
Silence.
With silence.
He taught his classes with silence.
So there are no notes from him. There
no
are
notes, no writings,
records of what he
taught.
No
record of what he taught.
But people that sat with him received that clear seeing.
Because he found the place of essence and presence of his eternalness to teach beyond his sound. The sound that they heard in their middle ear was a sound of stillness that spoke louder than a billion people could speak in a microphone.
Yes, yes. It's like what we've been watching lately. We've been watching on YouTube videos of newborns, infants cooing.
Yeah.
It's almost like that. It's beyond language. It's before language. There is no language for it.
I'm aware that I was watching outside of my mother the birth of this. I was my mother having myself.
And you gave yourself a hard time.
Jesus put himself in Gabriel, in Mary, and spoke to himself in the name of an angel named Gabriel
Mm-hmm.
and told himself the way he was going to be conceived and what he was going to do coming forth. He was Mary that spoke to the angel and said, "Be it unto me as thou hast spoken."
Yes, yes.
And in the 9 months, he waited inside of her stomach. I done talked to him in the belly. I was in the belly, you were in the belly, and you in my belly now. Thank you very much. And I'm in yours.
Yeah.
God Almighty, this thing, I'm telling you the truth.
And when you say you and yours, it's the one we've been asking that question about. It has no shape. It has no size.
One.
It has no weight. It can't be touched. It can't really be seen. But yet it is seen.
Miss Nina, I see myself walking into a barber shop. And when I walked in the barber shop, I saw who I was walking in. When I got in the barber shop, I looked around and saw all of the what do you call them, barber, cutting hair guys?
The
barber.
The barbers.
Okay. I looked at them, and every one of them was me. I looked at you, and you were me. And I looked at me, and I was you. And I looked at them, and vice versa, the same thing. I stood in the middle of the floor, and I looked at the floor, and the floor was me. And I stood there, and I watched my feet, and I watched my feet standing on myself. I came up through my feet, and I looked in the walls, began to develop into solid material. I put that there. The paint on the wall, I put it there. Lord God Almighty. I turned around and looked at the door, and the door slammed shut, and I slammed it shut, and I waited till the time that I finished cutting my own hair.
Yes.
In the disguise of Clark Kent, a barber. I sat in the chair. The chair was me. I sat down in it, and the chair waited on me. It was designed for me to fit in and waited for another to come in to take my place, but yet no one can take your place in this because you are everything.
Yes, you are.
That's taking place.
Yes.
Oh God, how much are we gonna have to say? How much are we gonna say of this
Well, you're
thing?
speaking from
Lord,
you are speaking from what you are, who you are, not from your intellect, not from your memory of what you've read, what you've heard. You're not speaking from that place.
I lost something so I could find it.
But and I want to say, I want to keep reiterating this because we think that the final destination of our awakening is a place of peace and bliss. That is not the finality, sweetheart. That is still an experience that you're longing to have. That experience will come and go.
The man said, as he departed, he told the Jews that it was Jesus which made him whole. He didn't know that he was the Christ. Speaking to the Jews as Christ, they didn't know. And he didn't know that he was the one that healed himself in another identity that he chose to appear in unto himself. Then he turns around and walk off and tell himself in the name of the Jews, and many of them, that Jesus healed him. And that's all he knew. He did understand that it was him. The pool of Bethesda had many that was set around it, and the sheep gate and the odor and the smell of the dung of the sheep. And anybody that stepped in that water after the angel troubled that messy place was healed. But there was one man that said that every time he got ready to step in, another blocked him. Here come Jesus coming by. And when he come by, this man looked at Jesus and noted him. I have tried to get in, and every time I do, somebody else stepped in front. Jesus healed the man. Now, the angel was Jesus. Jesus was the angel.
The water was Jesus.
The water was Jesus. The smelly boo-boo in the water from the sheep was Jesus. and the healing power of Jesus, and
the man
and
sitting around the pool.
every man that sat in and around the pool was him. Look,
That is that is what happens when separation actually collapses.
That's right. I like what you said. It collapsed. The bridge
collapses.
I fell in the water. The bridge collapsed.
I feel like we're talking to each other tonight.
We are.
Yeah, we're talking to each
other. The bridge collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that I waited on you in my form and in myself. And when I got ready, I revealed myself to you, to me, 50 some years in earthly time. I realized that I'm sitting beside somebody that bugged me because I'm bugging myself. I gave myself the right to appear to be separated from others in order to find out the truth that there is no other.
There is no other.
Somebody ought to be jumping up and down right now.
Well, maybe not. This could be frightening to the ego.
Well, okay. Somebody ought to be doing the moonwalk, the Michael Jackson moonwalk.
Or speechless, probably.
Buzz, you are the path of good and bad.
Yes, sir.
You're the recognition of yourself as happiness and unhappiness. Mm-hmm. That's why the love of this place called space is for people like you and I who walk this mystical race.
Judy said you're talking to her too.
Yes. I want to talk to everything that is ready to hear and everything that is not ready. I will wait on you. I will wait on you because I am the you that waits on itself. I will not allow this thing to go any further without you finding out how to look at it.
Yes.
Correctly.
Yes. Yes.
Oliver look at it.
Oliver says you're talking to him too. Hey, Ollie.
Look at it. Look at it. Please look at this.
And I think the reason we've taken this route is because we are disappearing.
Yes. Disappearing to the universe. That's what we say. We
are disappearing.
Lord have mercy, Jesus.
It has nothing to do with happiness. It has nothing to do with joy. It's that wants to experience those things is what's disappearing.
Oh, glory be to God.
And it's disappearing. But at the same time that it is, what is left can be nothing but happiness and joy, but not for a me to experience.
You are, Miss Linda, you worked on the lawnmower. You were the lawnmower waiting for you to fix or somebody else to fix. Mm-hmm. You didn't miss a thing. Mm-hmm. You are of that essence.
Yes.
That can act like it missed itself and then come back and find itself right where it was supposed to be. I want you to recognize this awesome essence. And I want you to be able to look at yourself and everybody you see with or without effort. And look, this thing that comes up and asks the question, how do I get there? You created that too.
Yes.
That's the real you asking that question so the real you could show it to it. And let me tell you about this. Don't push it. Because you set it up at such a time that your God identity see fit to reveal it to your God identity.
Exactly.
My Lord speaketh unto my Lord.
In fact, it's not going to be revealed to you because you are the revelation. You are the revelation.
Look at you.
It can't be revealed to you.
Look at you.
Because you are the revelation.
You stink. I mean, you really stink tonight. I mean, you stink real good. I mean, you got a good smell tonight. Ooh. I'll tell the boss man to
I
give
told
you.
him today what we've been doing
Been doing
in our search for enlightenment.
I'm repeating enlightenment.
Yes, you is it's like going into a pitch black basement.
Uh-oh, here it comes.
Looking for a black cat.
Yes.
That's not there.
Did you hear that? In a dark room looking for a cat.
A black cat.
Excuse me. Black cat.
That's not there.
Ain't there. Don't get scared. Don't get scared now. I'm done run from the computer. Don't get scared now and back off. Shut your mind. Tell your mind to stay the hell out of your heart business. Shut it down. Shut it down. If it wants to chatter and yabber, ignore it. Because what we're talking about now, the mind can't take it. You can't do that. And if it act like it's going to take it because it's used to using information that has been taken, don't pay attention. It's time. It's time for you to come straight.
It's time to get beyond mental references. Memories of what's been taught, what's been read. It's time to get past those references.
What'd you say? Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Going into a dark, pitch black basement, looking for a black cat that isn't even there.
Who told you? The man that took up his bed. They asked the question to him, which one of these guys told you to take up your bed and walk?
I just felt somebody say this. I don't know what they're talking about, but I like it. I just heard that. I don't know what they're talking about, but I like it.
You know what? I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to shut it down right here.
Shut it down right here.
Right here.
It's good enough.
I'm telling you.
It's good enough. What did Bud
Somehow
say?
or another, we dug a grave.
Bud says that skit from Saturday Night Live said, simmer down now. That's what I tell mine.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yes, sir, Bud.
Now, we're going to hold this horse. We're going to hold the reins on this thing. But I'm going to tell you something. The horse knows how to get back home because the horse never left home. I like them.
Yes.
You know what? This can be a good one. I'm going to say this. When you go watch this, we looked up the word cooing.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. Cooing.
Yeah, cooing.
Yeah.
I just came to me.
Yeah, cooing. Well, the babies coo.
They coo.
Yes.
I've been watching it online. A bunch of babies cooing.
Yeah, I said that. See, you didn't hear what you're not listening to me. I know. Yeah, we've been watching babies cooing, and its presence in it.
There was a certain man that said he had an infirmity. He didn't know that he created this situation for him to meet Christ. Isn't it amazing that the Bible talks that these people met Jesus and did not know they were meeting their true self?
Yeah.
Hot dog! Yeah. I'm about to hatch a square duck egg.
So Jesus healed all of those people, but he healed himself.
That's who it was. Did y'all get this? Get this.
Healed himself. Get this.
What we came here to preach the word around the world is I'm gonna try to say it, not like we've been taught condition wise. This preaching around the world is us seeing the truth beyond the veil.
Yes, yeah.
Wait a minute.
What?
That veil that was split from top to bottom, who made it? Well, somebody sewed it together and they said that 20 mule team horses couldn't pull it apart. This is what I heard years ago. But yet it was split from top to bottom. Okay, who made it? Years ago, we saw Jesus' robe. And he let us see the magnification of the threads and the weave of the threads in his robe that he had on. The robe that Jesus wore at his crucifixion was made out of the same material that the veil was made out of. And what the veil was made out of was made out of us. The material that it was used to put Jesus and us on the cross, we made it just for that. We made that cross for us to die on. So that means we made everything to take place in our everyday life that would wipe us out completely and find the zero state of beingness. We zeroed ourselves out. We did all of that in order to come to the end of ourselves. You're not going to see the full impact of this power as long as you think you are still alive.
As long as you're you.
That's right.
You won't see it until.
Now let's stop here.
Yes,
let's stop here.
That's a lot for all of us.
I want this to simmer on you, Brother Buzz. I want this to simmer on you. Buzz, I see you in the kitchen and there's a stove there. You made that stove and you made it to work. You order food to eat. You get on the phone on your iPhone and you order and it comes to your door. You're the one that fixed the food, prepared the food, got in the car, brought it to the door and delivered it unto you. You made all of it, but you did it. No, hey, but Buzz, listen. You're going to be doing it now, knowing more about yourself than what you just found out 50 years, 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, 4 years back. You're going to find out more and more. It's going to unveil itself. Buzz, it is time for the coming forth of the Son of God in manifested reality.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about. Now, we're going to stop.
And this does not eliminate your day-to-day life activities. It doesn't interfere with it. It doesn't change it. You go through your normal daily routines, and all of this is still working just like yeast is just working.
I don't want to tell nobody but you. I don't want to talk to nobody about you. I see Jesus. I see the Christ in every one of you on this screen. And if it was anybody else in this room, I would see him. I'm sorry. I don't want to see anybody else but him. And he looks just like you.
Looks just like you.
All of this, Pastor, you said it, it's all a setup. We set this thing up. Stood at one end of the Passover table and became every one of them at the table that we was eating at, the table that we sat down at was us. Now, take a deep breath. This may be the last breath you'll take. Knowing about yourself is separation. At such a time that your God identity sees fit, reveals this to you. You are absolutely quiet.
And that's what John said. Yes, speechless. Speechless.
You're quiet. Look. And even the look through your eyes is making too much noise. Think. Your mind is making too much noise in your head. See, my ear has been stopped up. I can hear all that junk going on in my head right now. Come to the place where I've had enough of everything. I don't had enough. This hearing this noise, trying to understand. Do you know for 50 some years, my wife and I have been talking, trying to tell people this that we're talking now. And I'm gonna tell you something else. I'm gonna come back with some more. Come back some more on Thursday afternoon. I'm coming at 12:30 some more. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't know how long I'll continue this. It doesn't matter anymore.
It doesn't, does
It does not matter.
And it doesn't. It doesn't even matter if it's in demand anymore.
I went to the drugstore this evening and got prescriptions and things. Cost over $100 more. But I looked. I know now why I went. I had to look at the people that were in the store. I had to look at a man standing there waiting to be waited on. I had to look at the tailors and the assistants in the store. I had to look at the people who drove up and parked next to me. I had to listen to the sounds in the store. The lady had her tag on her behind the counter. I saw her name. I said, "That's a pretty name." She said, "That's beauty everywhere." I said, "That's your essence." She said, "Shoot, that's exactly what it is." Let me say this to you. This is exactly what we're saying to you now. The next time you see me and hear me, I will say nothing with my mouth, but I will say a whole lot with your presence. I'm going to talk through you now, through the presence of your God identity. And it shall be made known unto you by inner verse, outer verse insight. You will see every verse of scripture. You will speak from every dimensional pole that exists in the universe. You'll stand still and see what it really means to be born again. Being neither born nor dying, you will see, and you are seeing, and you're finding yourself to be grateful for the time and the moments that you went through that seemed like hell. You know what your hell is? My hell is being in this world and not seeing the truth of zero. And that's our hell.
Being in this world and always longing to be fixed.
That's hell.
That's hell.
Wanting and desiring something is hell. Not having enough. You know what hell is? The grocery store not having enough food in it, and you going around telling everybody that the Lord told you that we getting ready to go into a no food
food
shortage. That's hell.
And you're trying to stock up.
That's hell. Let's go to heaven. Let's see the kingdom. The kingdom of God is. It doesn't make any difference because we are not fed. I ain't being foolish. Don't you? You know we got you mentioned a little, but I can't live off of spiritual food. I can't live off of teaching and preaching. I ain't asking you to. You don't have to do nothing. The old guy told me, said, "What you gonna do?" He said, "I'm gonna stay black and die." That's what I heard that say, black and die. Okay, I'm gonna stay in the middle of the pool of Bethesda. I'm going to see God walk up and fix everything. Watch this. I'm going to see God walk up as you and fix everything that don't need to be fixed and break everything that's fixed and break it so you can fix it again.
But it's fixed. It's fixed because that is broken will be gone.
You're thinking again.
It's not fixing what's broken. It's getting rid of what's broken, and there's nothing left but that is already okay.
You know, you all right.
Yeah.
You know something. Yeah. I'm gonna talk to the boss man about you and see if I
can. I'm tired of going in that black room looking for a black cat that's not there. I'm tired of doing that.
Well, I'm going in the room and I'm gonna find you.
And like you said, it's hell longing for something to be fixed. That's hell.
Wait a minute, I heard him say, You know what it means to be born again? The definition of it is when Jesus find himself looking at himself and say,
yes.
that's all of me.
Yes.
The end of you is the beginning of Christ, and there is no end or beginning to either one.
God can't appear until we disappear. And that's just the simple language.
You are appearing to yourself,
but not as the concept of what you believe yourself to be.
Tell me something. You know something. Mm-hmm. You're hanging in there with me.
And it doesn't have any good feelings with it. I have to keep saying that because we are focused so much on wanting to feel good and feel better and not be disturbed. But
Lord,
this knowing has nothing to do with how I feel or what I'm thinking. It has nothing to do with that. You are this, you are that without any validation from your feelings or your thoughts.
Today in therapy, the lady worked on my shoulder. The day in therapy, I was the first one there at 8 this morning. I watched myself as a shoulder with metal parts in it do exercises. Mm-hmm. I watched her talk to myself. I saw myself moving myself, but I was seeing God. I had accepted Jesus Christ as every event that took place in that therapy room. Mm-hmm. The pain, I was familiar with it because I did it and I've done it and I'm doing it all. Oh, do you know all these children in Shriner, the medical place?
Mm-hmm. St. Jude.
St. Jude.
Mm-hmm.
That's Jesus. Mm-hmm. That's God. This little baby girl that's coming up beside me out of my puppy. She was given in the name of Christ. When it's time to quit, she'll come over here and put her head in my lap and want to be scratched on the chin. When we used to hold services in church, she would go to church with us on Tuesday night, and when it was time for church to get out, she'd get up, go pump and bump the offering basket.
She would.
She did. Yes, she would.
But I want to speak this to Linda, and I'm glad Linda's on here tonight.
Yes, darling.
I was thinking about Ida Claire. She had to put Ida Claire down just recently, and she's dealing with that some. And I was thinking about that, Linda. I was thinking of how that it isn't that the animals love us so much.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But they elicit the love out of us.
They do.
They pull it out of us.
They pull it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They pull it out of us. You feel such love when you see them. Mm-hmm. And it's like they're extracting it rather than giving it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They're extracting it. We extract the love from you guys tonight.
Thank you so much. I appreciate every one of you. Every one of you that is known on the site, that's tuned into us by typing in information and not.
Yes.
I thank you for being the names that you chose to come here to identify with. We are grateful and graciously blessed by you every time you come on. If you give something financially to help us to keep going, it's okay. If you don't, it's still okay. Mm-hmm. You will not frustrate the grace of God in our life. We chose this path, and I shall and I will not be removed from the grace of God.
Little Vince, we love you.
Love you all.
We love you, Little Vince.
We love you with the eternal essence love, which never stop loving just because we don't pay any attention to what we do or say. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. We're rolling, Miss Linda. We're rolling. Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking. we're going to do what no man said that we could do. Got a long way to go and a short time to get there. We're eastbound and watch old Smokey run.
So what we miss, Linda says, is true that they pulled the love out of you. And so what you're missing is not them so much, but the love that they pulled out of you. You're missing that love being extracted. You need something to help extract it some more.
I'll take my head off.
We love you, Vincent. Thank you, darling. We love you.
Thank you so much.
We love all of you guys. We're so appreciative of you coming in and sharing this hour and 6 minutes with us. And thank you so much.
Engine number 9, moving on down the line. Clickety clack on the track. And that is all it is to that.
And the good thing about it, if you didn't get everything that we were saying and it's still somewhat fuzzy in your mind, just go back to YouTube and click on that YouTube channel and look at it again. And if you're watching from YouTube now, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done that. If you're on Facebook or whatever, just hit the like button. That always helps us. So when anybody's looking for information like what we're sharing, that puts us in the algorithm. It moves us up the line in the algorithm so that they'll find us quicker. So please do that right now. If you would, just hit that like button. And if you have someone you know would like to hear what we've got to say, then share it. And we just so appreciate it. We'll be back again on Thursday.
Sure will.
At 12:30 with Pastor Norman. Pastor Norman.
And Pastor Norman, you're there. You just talk to us. I want to hear some of you respond to what we were talking about tonight in the next 2 or 3 sessions. Let's talk more about this, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes,
we're just going to tear this thing up. Hey, we're going to tear our reverse out going forward. Oh boy, said we're going to tear the hell out of it. That's what we're going to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good night, you guys.
Good night, and thank you.